For me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Louie's Lurking in the Comments, episode 5. This is from June the 16th through the 23rd. This is part 2. And we're going to be looking at one particular video from this week entitled What? And it was something to the effect of your favorite 2024 moment. We're almost at the finish line of looking back at 2024. I've told you guys this many a times. 2024 is a season unlike any other. It's the beginning of something fresh, something new, and something that has the potential to change all of our lives, right, as fans. And you're never going to get 2024 again. And I can't stress that enough. You're never going to see a season like 2024 again because everything was so new. Everything was so fresh. Everything was unexpected, right? That was the first year of Jaden Daniels. Now we expect that from him. We didn't know what to expect last year, right? Every time we thought it can't get any better than this, it got better than that. And that can't happen again. So that was a season unlike any other. And even when we win the Super Bowl, it won't be like 2024. It'll be euphoric. And it'll be more euphoric in that one concentrated period of time at the very end. But we were euphoric the entire season. Sans for that 3-game losing streak. We were euphoric from week 2 on to the NFC Championship game until we lost. Like it was 1 week after another of like, I don't want this to end. Now that there are expectations, you expect to win, you expect to be good, and if it doesn't happen, you're going to be disappointed. Last year you went in, and I know my guy Derek B hates the phrase house money, but that's essentially what we were playing with, was house money. Till we got to the playoffs. Once we got to the playoffs, shit got serious. Like, and now I'm not okay with just getting here. Now I'm ready to do some damage. So anyway, long story short, this video that we're going to look at today and be in the comments of today is the video that I entitled The Best of Washington Commanders 2024 season, right? And it was essentially me asking you, what was your favorite moment? What was the thing that stuck out to you the most? And I gave you what mine was, and which was establishing ourselves as a team that's no longer in the middle class. By us destroying lower level teams last year consistently, that's what the greats do. That's what the elites do. That's what the triple Ps do, right? That's what the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities, the Baltimores, that's what they do. They put belt to ass to inferior opponents. They whoop ass, ask questions last. Well, that's what we did last year. We saw Carolina coming and we said, oh, you throwing me a center cut fastball at 88 miles an hour? Oh, we finna smoke this shit out of the park. We looked at Tennessee and we said, you're just what the doctor ordered. You're exactly what we need. Fresh off a 3-game losing streak? Oh, we finna put this leather rawhide belt straight to ass. Arizona and the people out in the desert thought we were a joke coming off of that week 3 exhilarating victory over Cincinnati. We went to Arizona straight away, didn't come home, and said, get on my level, ho what? Get on my level, ho what? Get on my level, ho what? Get on my level, bitch. You can never, ever, 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 ever get on my level, ho. And that was the rest of the season. If you weren't on our level, we made sure you knew you're not on our level. That was my favorite part of last year. And look, everything was my favorite part of last year, to be honest with you. Everything, all of it. But that's the thing. I enjoyed those 40 burgers. They were delicious. Those were good times. I want more of those, right? Let's get to the comment section and run through these quite a bit. This is why this one has its own video, because it's a lot of comments. We're going to get through these as fast as we can. And this will be the only video that will be in the comment section of, because there's so many comments. Banga says his favorite moment was beating the Eagles. I expected this to be a number of people's favorite moment. He's not alone. And I figured that would be the case, right? That was a good time, right? Doing that to the Eagles in the manner and the fashion that we did, they were hurt by that. That one stung. That one stung. And I loved it. North Wolfmast writes, JD confirming that he's our franchise QB. The running joke here on the Louie Tee Network has been that we've been in the quarterback wilderness for well over 30 years. You know, at one point, someone was nice enough to loan us a tent when Kirk Cousins was here, and it kept us warm on those really harsh, cold winter nights, right? But it was temporary. The elements really got to that tent, and we were back yelling, you know, screaming, hey, hey, is anybody here? Can anybody hear us? Yes. We need a quarterback. Well, last year, JD5 said, hey, y'all ain't got to do that no more, man. I got this big cabin right off the lake. Come on over. It's got heat, all the amenities. Y'all come on in, man. Come out of this cold. And we went in there. We took the best bath we've ever taken as a fan base. We cozied up next to the fireplace. Nice hot cup of chocolate, right? Hot chocolate. Delicioso. And for that moment in time, we said, oh my God, we're saved. We did it. We made it. We didn't think we were ever going to make it. We made it. He confirmed that for us last year. We're no longer in the wilderness. We're not yelling out for help with the echo reverberating back to us. There are other teams out there searching. No one was searching longer than us. No one. We got our guy. Damn, it feels good. Alan Etheridge, or Alante Etheridge, writes, the fact that it's finally okay to have realistic expectations. Hashtag prayed for days like this. Yeah, no, I've said this already. These may be unrealistic expectations to some. I expect to win the Super Bowl this year. And that's not far-fetched to say. A year ago, you couldn't make that statement without someone laughing hysterically at you and then promptly dismissing you after making that statement. Okay, you're not well. You're not right in the head. I can't have this conversation with you. We can say that with a straight face, and someone will go, I don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think you're ready, but I get it. I get it. Expectations are real, and it feels good. Doesn't it feel good to have them? Talking about expectations. Doesn't it feel good? The Visual Suite writes, Detroit. That's another answer that I expected. I mean, the euphoria of the win over Detroit is something that I've never felt as a fan since I was 5 when we won the Super Bowl. Because we were going somewhere that we hadn't been since I was 5 when we won the Super Bowl. Okay? I couldn't sleep the night of the Detroit win. I couldn't sleep. I was up until like 7 that morning, live streaming. I didn't want to go to sleep. Detroit was awesome. Wish it would have had a different ending, obviously, but that's look. That's a setup right there, right? Set back for the comeback, for the takeover. Frankie, yo, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, as corny as it sounds, the best thing from last season was the positivity and pride we as a fan base were able to show for the first time since I couldn't even say when. I've made the comment several times on various platforms that I had neighbors that I didn't even know were Commanders fans, Redskins fans. I haven't seen them wear anything. They never declared themselves as fans of the team. And people were prideful for the first time in this team, in this organization, in a long time. And no, there's nothing corny about it. We had teams in the past that we rallied behind, but this was the first time that we rallied behind the organization as a whole. That's a hell of a statement right there. We could proudly say we are fans of Washington Commanders without some kind of stink being attached to it. There's still the people out there that, don't love the name, and they're going to bring that up every time, but you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. And last year actually won some of those fans over. And I've always said winning cures all. That was the best feeling and still is for me, seeing this team continue to elevate. I love it. That's a great comment, Frankie. Yo. Alante Etheridge, the winning streak after the 3 straight, that was huge because it's easy to be a fan when you're up. It's easy to ride the wave when everything's all good. But when that adversity hits, where you at? I saw a lot of fans tap into that PTSD, man. When that 3-game losing streak hit, oh, here we go again. I knew it was too good to be true. Same old Redskins, same old Commanders. I heard a lot of that. Go back and watch that post-game loss after the Dallas game. Go watch that stream. Go watch what's being said there. To see them come out of that wreckage, a better team, a stronger mentally team, a more bonded brotherhood, that shit was epic. It set the stage for what was to come. Not losing another regular season game, going on the road in Tampa, going on the road in Detroit, and getting all the way to the NFC Championship game. Yeah, that was pretty epic. Michaela to Henderson. That throw to beat the Eagles, it had to be perfect. Thanks, JD. It was truly a sight to behold. Back of the end zone, Crowder dragging that toe and then doing a little slide with it. Yeah. Yeah, that was dope. That was Spodioti Dopalicious. Delicioso. Earl Bruce writes, and I'm so sorry if that's Michelle. I'm going with Michaela. Sorry. You can correct me in the comment section for the pronunciation. Having experienced Gibbs 1.0, Allen and Lombardi 2024 was a reminder of what this team can be. Are we there yet? Nah. But now we have potential. My favorite memory is the Lions victory. Even though they were wounded, shoving the disrespect in their faces was sweet. That said, the blowouts were wonderful. 40 burgers were great. So I basically agree with you. Those 40 burgers were so damn delicious. And you can never get enough of those. Right? I don't care how stuffed my tummy is. I've always got room for another 40 burger. With guac and pineapple, extra onions, and just a little dab of mushrooms. Why not the pineapples? I was like, I could probably do without the pineapple. No, why not? Why not? I think this year, this is from Earl Bruce as well. I think this year's defense will give us a better effort and perhaps 2 shutouts. Man, I wish my confidence was as strong as yours, Earl, because I don't see it. They got me on the defense last year. They won't get me this year. I do expect it to be an improved unit. Absolutely, I do. But I don't see you see 2 potential shutouts. I don't even see 1. Don't even see 1. Thomas Massey, right? Since this is a safe space, I'll admit, I enjoyed the ride, but it felt like we were getting lucky in the close games until the Philly win. Then I began to believe like I used to back in the day for far worse teams, LOL. Of course, they were far worse teams. But it was because, and it was the stage that those teams set, right? They set the precedents that I don't need to believe because it's just going to be like all the rest of them. So it's tougher for you to believe. They broke those walls down, though. But it was the game winning drive against Atlanta. That's when I said to myself, with tears in my eyes, in the Morpheus voice in the Matrix, with the music swelling in the background, he's the one. Now, instead of having fear and being embarrassed, I am proud. I proudly enjoy my team out loud. That's awesome. That's what it's about right there, man. Taking that PTSD and turning it into confidence. Whereas before, it was a weakness, it was crippling, it was debilitating. You couldn't grow with that PTSD, just pulling you down and weighing you down as a fan. To shed that or to turn that PTSD into confidence that they're going to find a way to get it done, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's what we've all yearned for as fans. I love it. I love hearing it. Jeep Commander, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, and I love the fact that you felt compelled to share this. Yes, this is a safe space. Absolutely it is. It's a safe space for things that make sense. If you got some bullshit, it's not a safe space for you. You're coming with some bullshit, it's not a safe space. Nor should it be. Easy answer. Knowing we finally have a QB and not just a QB, but one of them ones at QB. Whew. It's levels to this shit, people. And knowing that it is real and not just a fluke the way that he plays. And it was really fun watching JD5 grow from week 1 in Tampa to the NFC Championship in Philly. Man, oh man. At times, my mind is playing tricks on me. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom, 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 ba-da-dum, boom, 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 boom. That's what I thought at times. And then I realized, no, bro, this is no mirage. This is not a figment of your imagination. This is real. And you got one of them ones. Oh, man, it's a beautiful feeling. This is why there will never be another 2024. Edward Sloan II, the Lions game, all of it. Yeah, I can get with that. Metaphor Ariel, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, love me some 40 burgers with pineapple slices, no cheese. Yeah, I don't need no cheese on my burger either. I love it. Gerard BTV, right? Gerard BTV. And if I'm not mistaken, Gerard just started a channel. Click on this comment, click on his name, see if that leads you to a channel. If so, sub it up, support. Gerard writes, the foundational draft we had. Wow, think about all the stuff we acquired. Yeah, that was the foundational draft that we thought it was going to be with JD5, with Mikey Sam. Still, I don't think we're done yet because I think Jordan McGee is going to be a huge part of that draft when it's all said and done. You got Ben Sinnott, you got a guy that we think is going to be a fixture of this offensive line, and Brandon Coleman. Johnny Newton has a chance to really solidify himself this year. So yeah, that's a foundational draft if I've ever seen one, right? We'll see what Luke McCaffrey does. We'll see if Dominic Hampton can produce in that draft. Javonte John Baptiste is another guy that could end up being solid for us. That draft is going to be the gold standard moving forward, right? That's what it was supposed to be. That's what it intended to be. And after 1 year, we're not there yet, but we feel like we're heading in that direction. Just off of Mikey, JD, and Brandon Coleman, that draft is already a success. I think Jordan McGee is going to be elite and add himself into that Mikey JD5 category, along with Brandon Coleman as a big-time starter for us. And we'll see if Johnny Newton, Ben Sinnott, and some others, Luke McCaffrey, can also become guys that we rely on very heavily. But that was a tremendous draft. Darius Kroom writes, the best moment for me beating Detroit in the fashion that we did. I cried real tears, y'all. I've been in deep with this team. No Diddy. You weren't the only one that cried tears, man. I saw grown men cry, right? This is some real shit, man. We've been through a lot. I used to have those conversations with y'all in 2020 and 21 and 22 and hell, even 23. We would have those conversations about what it would be like when we finally got to this point. The job is not finished. But now when you look back at some of those conversations that we've had, it's come full circle and now it just feels great. And I told you it would. I said, it's going to feel great when we get to the other side of this damn, disaster. When we climb that mountaintop, and we're not all the way there yet. But the amount of distance we've covered in such a short period of time, you got to be, as a fan, you just got to be proud. You got to be proud of what we've done. Detroit was one of those mile markers where you go, okay, yeah, no, this is real, this is serious, and we're one game away from the Super Bowl. It's one of those pinch me moments. I was talking to somebody on the summer series about the backdrop and saying, oh my God, like we were geeked up because Frankie Louvu and Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn were talking in front of an NFC championship backdrop. We didn't know how to contain ourselves. Just something as simple as watching your head coach speak and there's an NFC championship backdrop behind him. It just does something to you. Creative mind state writes, Hail Mary, Lou must have forgot. No, I didn't forget. It was a great moment, but like, that was cool. We should have never even have been in that position with Chicago. I'm as cool as the Hail Mary was. And I talked to the football gods, and I told you guys this already. I talked to the football guys because I asked them why. Like, why did you do that? Why did you make us go through that? That was unnecessary. We were clearly the better team. That game should not have been close. Why did you do that? And he said, you asked me to end the Bears season. Did you not? And I said, yeah, I did. He said, well, I said, oh. He was like, yeah, you get it now, huh? I was like, oh, you sly. He said, don't say it. I said, ooh. They didn't win another game until week 18. What better revenge to serve up than that? I didn't forget. We just shouldn't have been in that position. You know what I mean? I love to play. And again, you'll never have another one of those. That's why 2024 was so special. Plays like the Washington walk-off, aka Bear Trap, aka Noah's Ark. You're not doing that again. This season just had everything wrapped up. The only thing that we didn't have was the Super Bowl. Bradley Campbell writes, JD finally becoming our franchise quarterback that we've been searching for 3 decades. Ownership that knows how to win over the fan base, and a GM, Adam Peters, working to bring Lombardi trophies and winning culture back to this franchise. All of it. I'm here for all of that. All of it. ALL, all caps. All of it, Bradley. DC Slim, the win over Detroit for me, bro. The Philadelphia Week 16 win and the Detroit win are going to be the answers for plenty of you, and that's okay. Those were really good wins that made us feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I think Detroit is the number one answer for me. Like, I had to remove that from the equation because that's, for me, that's low-hanging fruit. And that's okay. That's delicious low-hanging fruit. I want to bite that fruit. Give me that fruit again in 2025. Give me that same fruit. Because I want to taste that again. But I knew everybody was going to say that, so I wanted to go to something else. But that Detroit game sent us to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. Like, of course, that was awesome. Chico from the 7-5. Absolutely, those 40 burgers. Can't wait to become the team in the fourth with 10 minutes left to play. We see JD Cinco / primetime JD5 on the sidelines with his hat on, smiling because the game is secure. We got a couple of those last year. Those are all. Remember when that was us? Remember when Josh Allen back in 2021 was keying on the sidelines with 10 minutes to go? Remember that shit? Tua, yes, Tua Tagovailoa is cooling in a 45-10 ass thrashing. We got Tua on the sidelines with his hat turned to the back on some TLC shit. Hat to the back. I mean, have some pride about yourself. Tua? Okay, Josh Allen, I get that. Yeah, you get your ass whooped from Josh. Tua Tagovailoa, have some pride about yourself. Now when the shots rang out, pop, 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 guess who's doing the popping? And now guess who's doing the dropping? My, have the tables turned. Hey, pass me one of them 40 burgers, man. Pass me one of those, Chico. Pass me one of them 40 burgers, bro. We put another one of those on the grill. Those are good. Stealth 42 writes, beating the Bears. Their fan base was and still is so jealous of our quarterback that they were and still talk reckless. Ending their season was epic. And I had to get clarification from the football guys. Like, why? It was the perfect way to do it. If we would have beat them 20, like we should have, 27-10, that doesn't end their season. Beating them in the fashion that we did shut them up for good. Right? I mean, all they could do was hate. They couldn't say anything, though. We sent them into a spiraling tizzy. I mean, of course, they're back now because everybody's at 0-0. But I mean, it's the same thing Eagles fans have over us. Like, we beat you 55-23. Like, what are you going to say when they say 55? Nothing. Can't. We ended your season. You can't come back from that. There's nothing you can say that's going to be, oh, I got you. No, we ended your season, bro. Go have a seat, grab a snack, and watch us work. You're done. Ivy all day writes, I love the Detroit game so much that I watch it once a week. I love it, Ivy. I love it. The thing that I enjoy most is seeing that in that Detroit game, the brotherhood and culture. These guys played hard for each other. No negativity or fights on the sidelines, no reports of jealousy or temper tantrums, because they were all brothers with the same goal, to win games and have fun while doing it. Hail, Commanders. Last year was tremendous, and the brotherhood is real. It is. It's a real thing. I think we saw it last year. We saw what putting a locker room together of guys who play for one another, who play for something bigger than themselves, what it can do. We overachieved, not just because of Five, that he was a huge part of our overachievement, but because those guys believed in one another. JD5 coming for you. Favorite moment, hands down, was the comeback victory versus the sorry Eagles. That's going to be a big one for a lot of people. Alan Farley, when JD told opponent fans, go home, LOL, it's many things that took place. Yeah, man, that was the Cincinnati game when he told them, go home, go home. Yeah, that's my quarterback. After putting up a performance like that, 21 of 23 for 254. I think he had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Passer, a completion percentage of 91%, highest in NFL history for a rookie, obviously, but I think the highest in NFL history for a player with over 20 attempts in a game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, what are we talking about? Yeah, you go on the sidelines and tell them to go home after that Terry throw. It was awesome. Jorn, 23. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, the most enjoyable moment for me this season was getting to see us finally win a playoff game. LOL. I was at the week 1 game versus Tampa when we lost, so it felt that much better getting to see my first Skins/Commanders playoff win versus them. That Detroit game was just icing on the cake. You must live in Florida. That's awesome to have been in the building for that one, because the players talked about how much support they had in that at Raymond James Stadium, and how many fans stuck around after the game and was cheering them on, and they felt that. Y'all were definitely, I knew y'all were gonna hold it down for us. That was awesome. Shane's Lanes writes, the Bengals game was the first game that impressed me, but it was the week after against the Cardinals that I was sold. That's when I knew we had a good thing. That's when I bought a 5 jersey. You're not wrong, Shane. The Bengals game was the one that told me all I needed to know about Jaden Daniels. Like, a star was born. But I think when you talk about this team, when you talk about the coaching staff, and then more importantly, the ownership of Josh Harris, for DQ to tell Josh Harris, I don't want us to come back home. I want you to just go short week. Let's just go straight to Arizona. And Josh Harris say, all right, I'll put up the money. I'll do whatever it takes. Just go get it done. It's that mindset that I said, oh shit, Josh Harris ain't playing no games. DQ ain't playing no games. And when the team came out and put belt to ass to the Arizona Cardinals, who the week before just put up a gritty performance in a loss, but a gritty performance nonetheless against Detroit, for us to go in there and do what we did to the Cardinals, I said, oh shit, this might be different. So you're not wrong, Shane. Royal Stacks, right? And thank you for being a member of the MOBB Royal Stacks, right? The moment that stands out to me is when we were tied with Baltimore late in the second quarter and really had a close game throughout that game. I remember thinking, wow, this seems legit. Like, it wasn't a fluky game. Ravens played well and we played well. Excuse me. Even though we lost the game, that one made me realize we were a true contender. In prior years, there's no way we would have been in that game come late third, fourth quarter. He also goes on to say, not necessarily the best of best moments, but one that stood out as a turning point for me and how I looked at the team. And you're not wrong. I just remember the team not being satisfied with that loss. Like, in past years, we would have had the Brian Orakpo syndrome of, we were close. We almost beat them. We went toe to toe with the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't want to hear that shit. They didn't want to hear that. And they were pissed off. We were pissed off. And you saw what we did the next week to Cleveland, or excuse me, you saw what we did the next week to Carolina. We were pissed off and they showed it the next week. Dre Day 777 writes, number 1 is the Hail Mary. Number 2, the Lions beatdown. Number 3, the Cincy game. Number 4, the Terry TD record. And 5 is 5 being 5. We got one of them ones. Finally, HTTR for life. Those are all great, everlasting memories from 2024. Find me another season that's going to produce all this. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The Atlanta game is in there. All the 40 burgers that we had. The Saints near disaster is in there, right? The Tampa Bay, doink playoff victory is in there. There's so many, things that get lost in here. The Terry 86-yarder against Dallas, despite losing the game, is in there. There's so much stuff. Anthony Barnett says, what's up, Lou? Bro, what's up, Anthony? I swear the entire season was a blast. Even the losses, except the Philly beatdown, was very competitive. JD5 is the truth, for real, for real. The entire season was a blast, for sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think most fans agree with you as well. Not today. I'm busy. Right? So my favorite moment from 2024 was us beating Detroit in the divisional round after all the smack they were talking that week. The disrespect was real. And how we were able to go in there and punish them the way that we did, it was on par with the Lions, like, or the Bears, excuse me. it was cool to go into that division and just wreck shop. Dennis Bartholomew writes, Hail Mary win on my birthday. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Hopefully we get the win versus Kansas City on my birthday this year. Well, shit, make it 2 for 2, Dennis. Why not? I got to remember that's your birthday. Doug Alicious writes, for me, the Bengals game and the Detroit game are both at the top. That Bengals game got me a noise complaint for how ecstatic I was watching my football team show up in prime time. That's awesome, by the way. It sucks that you got a noise complaint, but if you're going to get it, let it be for something like that, right? That's awesome. I love it. The JD to Terry fourth quarter touchdown was in slow motion. I remember I talked about it. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom. Like that's how the Hail Mary felt like when it was in the air. Not that we knew, but like that Terry play was crazy, bro. I watched that. I've watched that play a gajillion times. Just like some other plays from that season, but that fourth quarter touchdown pass. And I love the call by Joe Buck. He said, pass to McLaurin. It's caught. Touchdown. And I just lost it. I lost it. You know what? One more time. I'm going to have to play those calls one more time. I'm going to dice up the best of the best calls of Commanders, late game heroics and play them for you. I got to do that one time before we get to 2025 training camp. The Detroit game, I was watching at dinner with family, and my uncle and I were going crazy with the employees. Last year was special, man. There'll never be another year like last year. The only thing that could top last season is a Super Bowl. But again, there's expectations now. Last year, you can never have that back. You can never have that back. You can never have all of the things that transpired in 2024, but you can have a bigger moment, which would be winning a Super Bowl. But you can't have a bigger, better story than 2024 was, because it was our first. It was our first of almost everything. Even the longtime fans that have seen winning at an elite level, it was their first time seeing this team get back to what it once was without Daniel Snyder, because even they lost hope and didn't think that this day would ever come, that we would be sitting here talking about a Daniel Snyderless organization that is free from all of its bullshit, and us having a chance to spread our wings and actually be a fully functioning NFL franchise. That's not just surviving. We're thriving out here, folks. We're thriving. Ethan Dykes, my guy. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, that Falcons game, man, the primetime lights, the blackout player introductions, the fans still cheering even though we were down at halftime, made us feel like a real football team again. DQ noticed. He talked about it after that game, and he was talking about it this offseason, about that was the game when he realized they're back. They're back. Now, I want to see that roll over into 2025. Kenton Moore, it's got to be the playoff game versus the Lions. I get it, and I love it. Solomon Ali says the best thing about the 2024 team was that they helped change the narrative about this team. Finally, a professional team going forward and not a laughingstock. Yep. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good to say that? Like, you don't have to worry about no off the field scandals. You don't have to worry about looking at, your phone and up pops some crazy story about someone, some allegations, or no kind of bullshit. You don't have to worry about that anymore. All positive vibes. Oh, and by the way, the team's really good. What a time to be alive. Gerard Swan, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, for me, Lou, I love that we finally got a quarterback. Best part of the season for me. when we were going into the season, I remember saying this, that the biggest thing that I want is for us to just come out of this season feeling like we got a quarterback. If we do that, it's a successful season. I couldn't have imagined that what was about to transpire would take place and completely rip the cover off of what I really thought was going to be my definition of success for the 2024 season. I knew we had a quarterback after week 3. So the rest of the season, I was just taking in all of the shit that was happening. Because I thought that it was going to take me a full 17 weeks to determine if we had a quarterback or not. I knew the answer to that after the 3rd game of the season. And so did you probably. Kevin Sample writes, other than the playoffs, the Bengals game, hitting Terry on that touchdown, man, that was epic. How about Terry getting that foot and that knee down? And that was pass interference, by the way. Like, let's not lose sight of, for the guy on the last part of episode 5 of Louie's lurking in the comments that talked about Terry losing a step and he's not worth this and he wouldn't get that. Man, Terry's something else. Jada's 2024. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, my favorite thing was how last year was in general. I wasn't done with the season halfway through. I was always looking forward to the next game, and no matter how bad I felt about a loss, it was still fun being in the game. It feels so refreshing being able to puff out my chest and speak confidence in a game. Talking trash, a trash talking Eagles fan means something now. Yeah, you can do that. You can be outside. I told y'all a couple years ago, hey, y'all come on outside with me. Y'all was like, nah, Louie Tee, it still ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It's cold out there. It's a lot of mean people out there. It's an evil world we live in. Y'all was like, yeah, Louie, I'm gonna sit this one out. And y'all shut the door. And not only did you shut it in my face, I heard you lock the top lock, put the chain on, and you locked the bottom lock. I said, well, damn, they ain't coming back out. It's so good now. I'm knocking on all the doors. Everybody coming outside. It's a party, man. And you're invited. Come on out here. Talk your shit. Say it with your chest. We ain't going back. Not with 5 at quarterback. Not with DQ as our coach. Not with Adam Peters as our general manager. Not with Josh Harris as our owner. We ain't going back. I'm not going back. And neither are y'all. Lee Rubenstein says, love me some 40 burgers. Hey, toss me one of them 40 burgers, Lee. Toss that puppy on the grill, man. Toss me one of them 40 burgers, baby. Cheer. Mike Lake. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Mike writes, being petty. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for the pettiness. Talk to me, Mike. But for me, it had to be the Detroit game. Only because their local media was beyond disrespectful. Nothing was better than going on their shows Monday morning and watching them eat crow. I can't wait to watch this quarterback series coming out on Netflix. I remember, because at that time I was consuming everything I could. I remember watching Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, he has a podcast with his brother, Equanimous. And Equanimous was, you know, he wasn't really killing him, but he was giving him a hard time. And your boy, you know, Amon-Ra was down bad. He's like, I don't even know if I want to watch the rest of the playoffs, bro. He was down bad. And I loved it. Jared Goff, I'm pretty sure he's going to be dejected watching that thing unfold. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be a movie or a show. You pick. I'll be front and center either way. Ade Smith. It has to be the Detroit game because nobody gave us a lick of a chance. Facts. They didn't. We were 7-8 point underdogs as if what we had done earlier. And I get it, Detroit won 15 games. They deserve to be favorites in that game, and they were overwhelming for favorites. They were the number 1 seed. I get it, but it's one thing to go in there and win. It's another thing to go in there and win in the manner that we did. That's the part that was so crazy. Voices of Martians 528. The comeback win versus the Eagles. I was at that game. I had even tailgated with several shit-talking Eagles fans before the game. And even when we were down 27-13, the fans around me hadn't given up hope. We all had faith that as long as 5 was on the field, we had a chance. The way the crowd roared with excitement when J-Mo caught that final touchdown has been seared into my brain forever. Voices of Martians. That is such a great way to describe that moment, because seared and etched into my memory bank is preposterous. 5 turnovers. I'll never forget that moment. I got goosebumps right now thinking about that call, thinking about that play, thinking about how I reacted, hearing the crowd. And again, there aren't many times, or haven't been at least over the last 20 years, roughly. 2012, I shouldn't do that. 2012 was the last time there was a game that I got goosebumps and I could feel the energy at FedEx, or now Northwest, through the television screen. And that game was one of the few home games, then the Atlanta game was electric, where you felt it and you went, oh, really? That's how y'all feeling? It was great. It was great. Wild NWA writes, JD5 throwing 5 touchdowns versus the Parakeets. That's a good one. Love it. Oz Duke writes, the best thing about 2024, the 2024 season, for me, was getting to enjoy it with my great aunt. She's 86 and autistic. She lived with my grandma, her sister, my whole life until my grandma passed in late 2023. She was put into a home due to her needs and can't live alone. She's a huge Washington fan, and I made it my job to go watch every game with her. And for the season to unfold like it did made her happier than I've ever seen her. I've never seen her smile that much. It was amazing to be a part of that with her, and memories I'll hold close to my heart forever. Oz Duke, you trying to make people cry up here, man. That's what it's about, though. That's what fandom is all about right there. Sharing it with people that you love, you care about, creating everlasting memories, or as they like to say now, unlocking new core memories, right? Um, that's awesome. Anytime you can share moments with people that you didn't expect to be able to share with them. Again, you never thought that, most of us never thought we'd see the day Dan Snyder would sell this team. And then for the turnaround to happen so quickly, you would have never got me to guess. We'd be having this conversation heading into the 2025 season. This was supposed to be a conversation we were having in 2028, 2029. We're having this 1 year in to a new general manager, new head coach, and a new quarterback. Year 2 of an owner. It's amazing. And I'm glad you got to share it with your great aunt, man. That's awesome. Hopefully she hangs in there and you guys can celebrate a Super Bowl together. That's the next step. That's the next step, Oz. Slandberg writes, with Debo, I think we're going to drop a lot more 40 burgers. We're going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 points all time. That's what I think. We'll go 13-4 in spite of our defensive deficiencies. Hey, if you're willing to toss a couple more 40 burgers over here, I'll put them on the grill for you. I'll put them on the grill for you, Slamberg. Send them over here, man. I like it. I like it a lot. I love the sound of 13-4. I love it. What do I sign? top 5 in points scored all time. What do I sign? I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Slamberg also says, so much trauma that I still feel like I'm hallucinating when I watch JD5 play. It just doesn't feel real. Proud to say I predicted 11-6 when we were 7-5 in spite of our horrible history. I remember going on the Commanders Kings and Rio, Rico, Ed, and myself. I remember me and Rio in particular were adamant about this, but all 4 of us said anything less than 12 would feel like a disappointment. I think we were 8-5 at the time, maybe 9-5 after we beat the Saints. And I think we agreed, like, I think it was when we were 7-2, we said that. 7-2. Anything less than finishing the season off with 12 wins feels like like we lost. We made it to 12, and a lot of people jumped off the ship at 7-5, but you hung tough, and you said 11-6, and they said, "Nah, we got you. We're gonna do you one better." So I love it. Slamberg writes once again. Strangely, the Cleveland game, because I was talking JD5 up before the game. He's good. He's good. He's amazing. I swear. And dealing with my aging father and brother's skepticism, and then seeing their eyes light up when JD5 rocked it. That started a weekly family gathering for football that we hadn't done in years. My grumbling, contrarian dad would complain every game about how football had gotten boring. And then after every game, he'd say, "Hey, that was pretty good." And my bro was kind of like me, enjoying every moment, but nervous from years of trauma. That PTSD is something else, man. It's something else. It took a lot of fans out, some that never returned, zapped the energy right from them, took the joy from their hearts, made them skeptical, right? There's always another shoe that has to drop. This can't be real. That PTSD is something else, man. Something else. I'm just glad that last season, if you didn't fully overcome it, and in your last comment, you said so much trauma that you still feel like you're hallucinating, it put a dent in it. Last season put a dent in your PTSD. Scorpio Gabriel writes, had to be the Monday night game. That's when we officially knew the Messiah is here. Love it. Dominic DeShazo says, for me, it was the Lions game. I know it's low-hanging fruit. Doesn't matter. Still delicious. But I turned 30 back in January, and I was the furthest, and this was the furthest this team has made it in my life, but I had to pick a different game. It was the Eagles win. Got to go into work and didn't have to brag to have all them annoying Eagles fans quieter than a church mouse. That Jamison Crowder catch and getting called preposterous was just absolutely great. That call is a great call by Joe Davis. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite ones. Derek B. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I love it. I love it, Dominic DeShazo. Love it. I mean, again, I get goosebumps. Derek B, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, writes, the best part of 2024 for me was silencing all of the loser PTSD narratives. Quote, trade the picks and build around Sam Howell. Shh. It's got to be May. Shh. We're not going to win anything of note this year. Shh. I knew it was coming. 2025 is more important than 2024. Shh. We're playing with house money. That was the one he couldn't stand. Shh. Jaden put them all to sleep. Oh, it was great watching them knock down one false narrative after another. I was a part of that. I was the playing with house money, thing until I got to the end of the season. I like F house money. F house money. I'm trying to go win it all. Right? Yeah, no, this was great. 2024 was great. Ford Frey writes JD5 all year. Yeah, no. He was scintillating. It was exhilarating to watch him play the game of football. And the way he did it made it look so effortless. We deserve this. I know I've said that to you a million, but I'm going to say it a million more times. No fan base deserves this more than us. Trar or T-Rar, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, hey, Lou, the moment for me was the Cincy game, 3rd and 7 to Terry. I knew from that point we had ourselves one of them ones, 100% slam dunk for me. That was the game. A star was born. That was the game. And the Eagles game, I think a superstar was born that day. But the star was born on Monday Night Football week 3 against the Bengals. That 3rd and 7, you got Luke McCaffrey running around, don't know where to line up. You got Jeremy McNichols standing next to him, asking him, what do I do? What do I do? And he's just like, just stand right there, bro. Pick up the blitz. Because he knew it was coming. Snaps the ball, free hitter coming off the edge. He knows he's going to get ear hold. Stands in there like a G and delivers the biggest dime of dimes. Yeah, you damn right. We got one of them ones. It was epic. So was this show. This was awesome. This is why I do these types of videos. This is why I put out those types of videos where I ask questions, because of the feedback that I'm looking for from you guys. That was awesome. That was probably my favorite Louie's lurking in the comments episode thus far. You guys are bringing the heat with this series, and I can't thank you enough for all that you've done with it. Continue to support this series, this channel. We've got so many more memories to create, and we're going to continue the discussion and the dialogue in the comment section. So continue to comment, make your voice heard in the comment section of these videos. With that said, I'm going to glide to the side and allow you to enjoy whatever it was you were doing before I rudely interrupted. Until next time, I'm your man, Louie Tee. And remember, you keep commenting, because I will forever and always be lurking in the comments. See you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace. Louie Tee Network. Louie Tee Network. Louie